good day and welcome to our listeners and welcome to the very first ever Blue Talks conversation that will be hosted by none other than Margaret Mengo. I'm the head of marketing and branding for Bank of Namibia. And today I'm joined by our very first guest, Burger Smit, the head of digital and e-commerce for Bank of Namibia. Good day and welcome. How are you doing, Burger?
I am good, thanks Maggie.
Awesome. So we have a very interesting topic to share and convey to you, and please to follow and listen carefully. Today we will be talking about the Common Monetary Area, known as the CMA, which has been making its waves on social media platforms, but we just want to bring clarity and really converse with you and educate you around the process around CMA. So I know under CMA they use the word PSD9, known as the Payment System Determination version 9. So what does this mean and what is it? Can you just give us some context and clarity around that?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks Maggie. So I think under what is the Payment System Determination 9. So on October 14, 2022, the Bank of Namibia issued this determination, and it really speaks to the conduct of electronic funds transfer, EFTs, in the national payment system for Namibia. So PSD9 regulates the conduct of these transactions with the objective of ensuring that all these transactions are reported, they are safely transferred, and the security efficiencies around these transactions are ensured.
Okay, so it's all about safety and bringing some seamless efficiency to the process on how we conduct on EFT. So why is this change and where does it derive from, and when will this new change really go live? When will it be implemented in Namibia?
So under the PSD9 regulation, payments to common monetary areas, known as the CMA countries, they are required to be processed as true foreign transactions or cross-border payments. And with this comes payment reason codes or balance of payment, and balance of payment reporting that is enforced on all of these transactions. So this essentially means that all payment flows between countries within the CMA, all of these transactions will now be done as foreign exchange transactions and will no longer be processed as normal EFT transactions. The change affects all Namibian customers and all Namibian banks for customers receiving or making payment to CMA countries.
Okay, there you hear it, listeners. So this is a regulatory requirement, and all the banks within the Namibian country, or also those there are probably others that we'll hear later in the discussion with Burger, who is our host, or who is our guest today on the Blue Talks, who will be talking to it. Who actually forms part, talking about other countries, CMA countries, who actually form parts of these CMA countries that will be impacted with this change?
Yeah, so the countries that form part of Common Monetary Area are South Africa, Lesotho, Eswatini, and of course Namibia.
Oh, okay. And just for that, is that going to be what it is right
now?
Yeah,
so all the CMA countries that's impacted, if you are making any payment to any of those countries, which is South Africa, Lesotho, Eswatini, the new foreign exchange payment processing will apply, and then vice versa. Also payments coming in from those countries to Namibia will also be considered as foreign transactions, and of course there's certain BOP declarations that needs to be done for these payments to reflect on a Namibian account.
Okay. So those are the countries that is forming part of the CMA guidelines and processes as per instructions from our regulator that we need to adhere to. So how will the guidelines really impact the way how clients transact using these new guidelines? Just give us a high level.
So the new CMA guidelines will impact the way in which client makes payments to CMA countries after the 9th of September by requiring clients to process all of these CMA payments as foreign exchange cross-border transactions. And this will essentially treat all of these transactions as true international payments and no longer a normal EFT transaction.
Awesome, fantastic. Thank you so much, Burger. There you hear it. So let's take a short commercial break before we proceed with a further engagement with our guest today, Burger. Welcome back to the Blue Talks conversation hosted by your most, Margaret Mengo, Head of Marketing and Branding for Standard Bank of Namibia, with our guest on today, Burger Smit, Head of Digital and E-commerce for Standard Bank Namibia. So as we converse around the CMA, the Common Monetary Area, we'll proceed with our questions to really educate and to create clarity around the process and the guidelines. So Burger, back to you. What are the cross-border payments and how do they differ from the regular domestic transactions, how we actually do things right now versus what will be the new way of doing things?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Maggie. I think that's a brilliant question because the cross-border payments are foreign transactions and they differ from the regular domestic transactions by requiring balance of payment. So there's a abbreviation BOP codes. So the listeners, the customers will make use of BOP codes going forward as well as BOP reporting. And this will ensure compliance with our regulatory requirements under the PSD9 regulation. In addition, cross-border transactions require additional payment fields when you are making the payment on our digital channel, such as SWIFT codes. So SWIFT codes is available on the internet for customers, or they can obtain it from the beneficiary themselves at the bank that they are banking. And then, of course, the residential address of the recipient of the funds in CMA. And the residential address is important because sometimes the customers confuse it with the postal address. So the postal address is not required, but more the residential address.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. That's really important information in terms of what is required, what information must you have at hand when you do the cross-border payments. Just to recap, where do the clients find the BOP codes? Are they also on internet banking or do they get it from their relationship managers? Where do they access the BOP codes?
So there's various ways to get a hold of it. Firstly, if you visit the Bank of Namibia website from a regulatory perspective, it's displayed under the Bank of Namibia website.
Okay.
Alternatively, from a Standard Bank perspective, we've loaded it onto our website, which is www.standardbank.com.na. So clients can easily get access to it there. However, we've also shared it via emailers to our customers as a guideline and a PDF as well, where customers can get easily access to it.
Okay, great. Thank you. Fantastic. So there you have it. You can access the BOP codes on the Bank of Namibia website. Alternatively, for Standard Bank clients, you can access it on our website as mentioned by our guest today, or on email as you've received it. Should you have not received that email, please do contact your relationship manager to get the guidelines and the codes so that you make your payments efficiently. So to move on to our other question is, what are the implications of the cut-off times for CMA payments on weekdays versus weekends? When will what happen? I think that is also very important to highlight.
Yeah, definitely so, Maggie. The cut-off times is very important because previously, if you were making normal EFT payments, there were no cut-off time, right? So the only impact for the normal EFT payments was weekends and public holidays, of course. However, now with the CMA payment, the cut-off times for CMA payments on weekdays versus weekends and holidays means that clients need to schedule their payments accordingly to ensure processing during weekdays is met. So the cut-off times for CMA payment on weekdays are 2:30 p.m. I repeat, 2:30 p.m. So any payment made after 2:30 p.m. will not be processed until the next business day. As well as weekends and public holidays, no payments will be processed. All of those will only be processed the next business day.
Okay, there you have it. 2:30 p.m. is cut-off days for during the week. And should you make your payment or load your payment during weekends, it will only be processed during working days. So there you have it. And if you do load the payment after 2:30 p.m. weekly, it will only be processed the next business working day. And can I still make an EFT payment to my CMA beneficiary like the normal way? Will that functionality still be available or not?
So unfortunately not. As from the 9th of September, clients will not be able to make normal EFT payments to CMA beneficiaries. Once they do process those payments, it will fail and an error will pop up on their screen. Therefore, clients should make use of the cross-border payment feature on our digital channels to process CMA payments.
And this payments, is it applicable both to individual, personal, and to business clients, or is it just to either or both, or only, who is it applicable to?
Yeah, it's applicable to all customers. So if you're an individual that are doing CMA payments, it will be applicable to you or a business or a corporate. So it's applicable to all customers across industry.
Great. So every Namibian, whether individual or personal or in your business capacity, you will be impacted with the new ways of making cross-border payments or forex payments, foreign payments. There you have it from Burger, our expert from the digital and e-commerce department within Standard Bank Namibia. So just the next one, what are the key information requirements for initiating this new international payment under the new updated guidelines? I think we've touched a little bit on it, but I just want you to repeat it a bit in terms of that, so that clients are well prepared for the go live date.
Yeah, so the key information requirements for initiating the new CMA payments under our cross-border payment tab on our digital channels is the beneficiary's name, or the entity's name if it's not an individual, the bank details such as the account number, the SWIFT code, and the payments receiver's physical address, not postal address, and then of course the reason for payment aligned with the balance of payment codes, which can be found either on our website or that of Bank of Namibia's website.
Great. There you have the list of requirements that you should have at hand before making the payment to ensure efficiency and swift processing of your payments. So we will be repeating the requirements in traditional way of communicating as well, but there you have it from our expert highlighting the key requirements that's needed when making a payment. So what are the new, and I think this is an interesting question, and people always want to know about the pricing, the impact, the implication around pricing. What are the new CMA pricing for clients? How will there be an increase, a decrease? So please highlight a bit in terms of the pricing for this new way of making payments. And is this across all, or does it differ from bank to bank? But now we're speaking on behalf of Standard Bank, of course, at the Blue Talks. So I just want him to highlight from Standard Bank point of view.
Sure. So the charges associated with the CMA payments. So from a Standard Bank Namibia perspective, individuals and business customers for all outward transactions, so that those are the payments you are making to CMA countries, they are charged at 20 Namibian dollar per transaction.
Okay.
And for all other foreign transactions, excluding CMA, those payments are still subject to the standard forex rates, as published on our website. And then all inward charges will also have their separate pricing coming from CMA into Namibia.
Is this $20 Namibian dollar per transaction, is this a fixed price, or does it differ from value to value, or is that the standard fixed price for that outward transaction?
Yeah, so this is the standard fixed price for all outward transactions. If you are an individual or a small, medium enterprise client, that is what you will be paying for all outward transactions. Okay,
great. So with that, you have it, a bit of information overload, but very informative info with regards to the CMA payments that's about to go live on 9th of September 2024. Please to absorb this information, and should you need more information, do visit our website or contact your relationship bank manager. And please, let's go for a commercial break. We'll see you soon. Good day. Welcome back at our Blue Talks with your host, Margaret Mengo here, and our guest on the Blue Talks today is Burger Smit, our head of digital and e-commerce for Standard Bank Namibia. So as we're conversing around the CMH payments, and that is about to go live on 9 September, we would like to continue and just give you some more information around that. So one of the most critical questions as well, actually all of them are very critical and informative, but I think this one is really important in terms of how long does it really take to process this transaction, and what are the common factors that can cause delays? And I think it's important for us to know in terms of turnaround time, how long does it take from Namibia, and how long does it really, what could be the common factors that can cause any delays with regards to the transactions? Burger, can you give us some info around that?
Definitely a critical question. So the typical cross-border payments, they can take up to a few days. From a Namibian point of view, we need to process all of these payments within 48 hours.
Okay.
However, when the payment leaves Namibia, the CMA recipient country has their own turnaround times, right? So it's dependent from country to country. However, this will impact the overall turnaround time, and there might be delays on processing times because it's outside of the Namibian jurisdiction when it leaves Namibia into the CMA country. Some of the factors or other factors that does impact the turnaround times, it's of course public holidays and weekends because of the cut-off times. Incomplete payment information. This can relate to BOP code categories being incorrectly filled in from a client perspective, or any other exchange control issue that is picked up. As well as the beneficiary bank's processing times affecting the overall payment to the recipient.
Okay, thank you. There you have it. So I just want to ask just a follow-up question based on the answer right now. So does the system or internet banking pick up the moment you insert a wrong BOP code to a different? Does it pick up if there's a faulty or an incorrect completion of info? Does it pick up instantly that you can't proceed, or like sometimes some internet banking, it highlights red if it's not correct? Will that be the case as well with the BOP codes, for example?
So unfortunately on BOP code, because we don't know what the client is normally paying, right? It will not pick up because it's also straight through processing, which means we don't want to, it needs to be a seamless process, and we don't want a cumbersome process for the client. So it will not pick up. However, if the recipient banks receive it and there is an issue with the reporting code, it will be rejected to the beneficiary's account. But however, there is a educational campaign that we will also be piloting, where we are educating customers on common BOP code categories, as well as for certain payment types, these are the BOP categories that they need to use, or BOP codes that they need to use for those payment types. So there will be a bit of education around that, as well as if a customer does have any require any information, etc., they can either contact their relationship manager or their business relationship manager as well, so that they can just get clarity on which BOP code do I use for this type of payment.
Great, fantastic. Thank you so much for that information. To our listeners, should you really have more questions and clarity needed around any of the responses that we have received from our guests, please do put them on the chat. We'll ensure that the FAQ, of frequently asked questions, is distributed to you or on our platform, so that we educate you as much as we can and give answers where we need to give answers to. In conclusion, I have one more question to our guest today on the Blue Talks. Burger, how will the clients be able to navigate and execute CMA cross-border payments through Standard Bank online platforms under the new guidelines? So how will they be able to do that?
Yeah, so this is an exciting one. We've recently made available the cross-border payment feature on our digital channels. That includes internet banking, which most of our retail customers or individual clients are using, and then enterprise online, which our business or our SME clients are using. So under the new feature, customers will be able to process all of these CMA payments as cross-border payments, and it's allowing a seamless and compliant process for our customers. If you've missed the process, we did share the steps how to on our socials for Standard Bank Namibia. So clients can also feel free to visit. But like I said, if there's any need for guidance or they need to be taken through, they can either visit any of our branches or contact the relationship manager to take them through the process.
Great, thank you, fantastic. Thank you, Burger, for really making time and really giving us clarity and information around the CMA known as the Common Monetary Area payments that's about to go live 9 September. So please take note, going live date is 9 September, and please ensure that you're well equipped and acquainted with the process, the guidelines, by either reviewing and engaging your relationship banking manager or visiting our website www.standardbank.com.na, or some Bob codes information is also on the regulatory's website. So I would like to take this moment and really thank our guest today, Burger Smit, our head of digital and e-commerce for Standard Bank Namibia. Thank you so much for making time on our Blue Talks show, and I hope to see you soon on the Blue Talks episode again, talking about something else exciting.
Definitely. Thanks, Maggie, for hosting me. It was a pleasure. And really looking forward to the chapter of how we deal with CMA payments going forward.
Fantastic. All I know is Standard Bank has really different avenues on how to inform and educate our clients around the process. Thank you so much for joining us on our very, very first ever Blue Talk conversation hosted by Standard Bank Namibia with our guest in studio today, Burger Smit. And I hope the information was very informative and very educational for you to know about the CMA. Please do subscribe and follow our social media pages on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Or alternatively, do visit our website www.standardbank.com.na. See you all on our next episode of the Blue Talks, hosted by Margaret Mengo. Have a good day.